Happy Hump Day, everybody. Welcome to a Flashback Friday on a Wednesday. Over the weekend, we did some exploring of an abandoned hard rock mine, which is a lead that came from somebody that actually had worked there back in the day. That person has now seen the video and reached out with some really interesting information and even a couple of photographs. So I'm going to share it with you. This particular mine operated from 1981 to 1985. It was a hard rock gold mine, and within that lifespan, they removed just shy of 100,000 ounces of gold. When we first get into the portal, you can see some ore cars. Those are actually 5-ton ore cars, and that's where this gentleman started his career with this gold mine, was shoveling into the ore cars, and he could do 2 per day. The little battery-powered engines that we could see, those were called Lokies. And he said it was very common for them at the bumpy section where you can see the sign that says slow, for them to actually derail right there. The other type of cart we saw was what I had assumed was a passenger car, which was correct. That was the man car, and they took it from that portal entrance to the processing plant. One of the big challenges with this particular mine is location. In one of my shots, looking up the valley, you can see the toe of a glacier. The base of that glacier in the 80s used to come down right to the mine entrance. And of course, with that, in the wintertime, came the big risk of avalanche, which is why they actually built the processing plant underground. There's not a whole lot of flat real estate available there, so the only flat section that was not under threat from avalanche, they used to build the camp, and then the processing plant actually had to be built underground. I do have a decent little flashlight, but that mine is so dark and so wet, and the cavern with the processing plant is so big, it's really challenging to see anything. So he actually has a couple of photographs from the processing plant illuminated back in the day when the mine was running. He shared some fun anecdotes of things he had seen in the video that he had forgotten about completely. One of which that I found really interesting was that skid steer. He said that's still sitting exactly where they left it in 1985. And I don't remember seeing anything, but he said it's pretty likely that there's still even a battery sitting beside it from when they tried to jump start it. Another one that answers some of your questions is there's a piece of wire tied on the front of the heater that's put there to hang gloves on to dry. And I did see some comments, folks asking if that mine always had all of that water in there, and it did not. It used to be dry. And that brings me to one of the mistakes I had made in the video. I saw what I thought was small little hydroelectric generators. Those are actually just electric water pumps, and those are there to remove water from inside the mine. The reason everything is left behind in this mine is because they did plan on operating again. There's still a fair amount of gold left in the pocket they were chasing, but in 1985 it was costing more to remove it than it was actually worth. Unfortunately, everything is far too rusty and corroded to ever see operation again, but it is fascinating to go in and see what it looks like today. And it's interesting getting to learn what it was like back in its days of operation. Thanks for watching, everybody.